We're back with the Coon Prairie Ramblers, and we were talking about the bearded lady. Now, I've never seen a bearded lady in a circus because I'd never paid money to go do that. But I've seen many outside of the circus.
You have?
Yes. I have too. I remember one day at a store, my son was with us, and he's one of these kids that always blurt out whatever's on his mind. And he asked the lady at the store, "Are you a man or a woman?"
Oh, my goodness. And you're in line and can't go anywhere, right?
I'm thinking, what am I going to do?
You're trapped.
You don't tell him to shut up because you hope, well, it's going to come out okay. She said, "I'm a woman. Why would you ask?"
Oh, my goodness.
He opens the door.
That's right.
And so my son looks at her and said, "Well, you've got sideburns." He said, "You look like a lady, but you have sideburns." And he wasn't being mean. He was just curious. He was a very small kid. I'd say he was probably 5 or 6 years old. He was curious as why she had, and she did have a nice set of sideburns.
Mm-hmm. Like Elvis-like?
Pork chops?
Pork chops. Mutton chops.
Was she understanding?
Well, she didn't make a big scene about it, but she seemed a little disappointed in his answer.
And uncomfortable, probably.
Yeah. And
she
she
should have
went on
known
about that. But, yeah, he didn't mean anything about it. But it goes into the lessons learned in life.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how magnificent a woman's facial hair is, never compliment her on her.
That's what I'm talking
Never
about.
bring it to her attention that you have a lovely mustache, lovely sideburns.
Or some whiskers.
Or say, "My, you're well shaven today."
Yeah. No, that's a no-no. You just don't do that. But
Beards.
and he didn't mean anything by it. He didn't mean to be ugly or mean or anything else. Just a kid being curious. And
I think it's probably a good thing that women weren't meant to have beards.
I'm kind of glad of it.
Yeah, because you don't have to compete with them, because they might end up with some good ones.
Better beard than mine, and that would be bad.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever see a bearded lady in a circus or in a sideshow?
No.
I would have never paid money to
I
do
wouldn't
it.
either because I got a feeling it was just the same way. Someone had a little extra.
What if they said
extra hair?
a chicken-eating bearded woman?
No, I might have watched that.
Chicken eating beard. Hey, you got some chicken in your beard there, lady. Is that a
But-
gizzard hanging there?
You know, there's a lot of people that one time were in sideshows and things that I used to think was demeaning, and that not things it should have been.
Yeah.
But looking back, some of those people probably made a very comfortable living that otherwise may not have been, or may have been living off the system.
Well, how about the people in the Wizard of Oz? I mean, they made a little bit of a living off of that.
Hopefully they got
The Munchkins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they got residuals on that because that's still.
Well, if they had speaking lines, they would have. I think.
Well, no, because residuals are not an ancient thing. Maybe on movies, but on TV shows. Because I read somewhere one time, but don't let me get way off track here. I'm chasing rabbits, but the cast of the Gilligan's Island never got paid residuals for any of those shows, and it has been in constant showing ever since it went off air. It's showing.
That's wrong.
You could find it on TV somewhere right now. Mm-hmm. But back to the circus sideshows.
Yeah. Well,
sideshows.
Sideshows. Well, of course, the ones where people just have deformities and stuff. I don't understand why people want to go look at those.
And well, they also had a lot of animals that were born with birth defects. And
Two-headed chicken.
Some were alive, and some were dead and stuffed, or they were in a jar of formaldehyde.
And you wondered whether they were real or not.
And you go in there, and it's in a jar of formaldehyde. It's not even alive. And you're like, why did I even come in here to see it anyway? I'm going to go home and have a nightmare now about a two-headed cow chasing me around.
I had mentioned on a group on Facebook that was secretly plotting Luke's birthday.
Yeah.
They asked how we met.
You met at the circus?
I mentioned on there that I met Luke at the county fair, and he was part of a traveling troupe called the Traveling Wilsons. And he was singing and doing magic acts, and
right.
And they ran me off.
Eating chicken.
Right. And that was the way I'd met him. But
how many kids do you have, Luke? I didn't. I only thought you had a
Are
daughter.
you thinking about the traveling Luke Wilsons now? That's why.
Yeah, right.
That's how he's counting.
But the flying Wilsons that walk the high wire. And
the Von Trapp Wilsons.
the Von Trash Wilsons. The bearded Wilsons. I mean, they're all out there. I have 2 daughters that I claim. Actually, I claim more daughters than that. I have my daughters used to bring home their friends for sleepovers and stuff, and they did stuff with us, and they would call me their other dad. I call them my other daughter, and I have a series of those. Never had I never had a son or an other son. It's always been daughters, and there's a whole herd of them around the county.
Well, you know,
I just call them my daughter,
looking
they
at
call me
Facebook,
Dad.
I didn't know. I mean, people weren't labeled, but I thought
I have two.
looked like you had 4 daughters.
2 daughters, yep. Just the 2. But anyway, we were talking about circuses and bearded ladies and beards, and you can't see us on the radio, but we all 3 have beards. Mel has
Facial hair.
Facial hair. Mel has the how would you describe Mel's?
Full figured.
Full figured. He has a full figured. He has full figured fuzz on his face. He's like he's like a rabbi or
Hasidic
I
Jew.
carry my breakfast with me.
Carries breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, I read somewhere that
Good body.
they're having health concerns for some men with beards because the fact that their food will get and start to carry bacteria and germs.
That's right.
Yeah.
like that.
Well, you got to eat
And
it
then
regular.
later on, they lick their beard
Yeah.
or whatever, or dust it off, and it crumbles into their mouth and causes digestive problems.
I think I
Maybe
saw.
that's what happened to me.
I think I saw Mel's picture on a bottle of cough syrup before. Him and another guy.
Oh yeah, the Smiths.
The Smiths or the Smith brothers or whatever it is. He can pass for one of them guys.
I don't think what I have you count as a beard.
What's your goatee right
I guess
now?
we all.
No,
most
that's
all.
Van Dyke, right? What do you
No,
call
I don't
that?
think Van Dyke's pointed.
What do you call that? It's just a.
Goatee.
It's a goatee with a 3-day growth on the side.
A goatee hangs down like a goat's beard, but it's a goatee in progress.
You never see me clean shaven, but I don't consider myself
noticed
as
that.
having a beard. But I guess technically we all have beards, and it's just at different
Length.
stages of growth.
That's right. It's
Some
always
of it,
growing.
some of it's as shaved as close as
It
possible.
never stops.
but it's still there.
Even when you're dead in the ground, it still grows.
Of course,
From what
my
I
beard,
understand.
my
from
beard
what I
used
hear.
to be, jet black.
It did.
And
I
it,
remember.
it was pretty thick.
And pretty.
Yeah, man, I can remember if I went to work in the morning and shaved, and then went somewhere at night to really look nice, neatly groomed, I had to shave twice a day.
He had a thick beard. He could have carved his initials in. He could have shaved his
Yeah, I
initials
could
on the side of his head
Had like
if
a
he wanted
bird
to.
or something.
Well, my beard's crackly, but what's the youngest age you ever grew a beard? Or did you try to grow a beard for a while before it ever worked?
I started when I was 13, I believe. I think I could grow it when I was 13.
Wow.
I remember one time
Bully.
Pat Hansel told me I looked like a baseball team.
A baseball team?
Yeah, he said you got 9 on one side, 9 on the other.
Yeah.
And I think from that time on, I did not try to grow a beard for
Goodness.
many years. So I would say
remember.
I was in my 20s before I tried again, but that was probably when I was 15 or 16.
Well, all through my 20s, I had a beard,
Wow.
except for when I was in the military.
I probably didn't have one until I was in my 30s because
Yeah.
my beard's not thick. But anyway, we got to take a break here. Maybe we'll come back and we'll talk about beards some more. There's a lot to be said. So we'll be right back.